Do know that one of the greatest betrayals in life is when you neglect yourself while trying to take care of everything else. Many people think taking care of themselves is selfish, but in reality, it is one of the most spiritual and wise decisions you will ever make. Because the truth is this: you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give light when your own candle has burned out. Life will never clap for you for burning out. People will always demand, but very few will stop to ask, "How are you doing?" You must have the wisdom to pause, to breathe, to heal, to build strength again. When you collapse, the same people who kept pulling from you will keep moving. So I speak to you today: take care of yourself. There is a version of you that the world needs, but you cannot manifest that version if you are broken, bitter, and weary. You must invest in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. You must learn to say no without guilt. You must learn to sit quietly without apology. You must learn to choose peace above unnecessary noise. When you take care of yourself, you are not only preserving your destiny, you are protecting the generations tied to you. Because when you fail, many destinies will fail. Value yourself as an assignment, because until you see your own life as a project worth investing in, you will keep treating yourself casually and wondering why life does not yield its best to you. Many people admire buildings, companies, and systems that have been carefully constructed, but they fail to realize that their own destiny is the greatest construction site. Think about it. Every time an architect begins a building, he draws a plan, he calculates the cost, he protects the foundation, and he supervises the process until completion. You are that project. Your mind is the blueprint, your habits are the materials, and your decisions are the workers on the site. When you neglect yourself, you are abandoning the most important assignment of your lifetime. Have you noticed how people treat borrowed things with so much care? When someone lends you their car, you drive slowly, you park carefully, you clean it before returning it. But when it is your own, you sometimes throw it around carelessly. The same way many treat others with honor, but treat themselves with neglect. You cannot consistently treat yourself like you do not matter and still expect greatness to emerge from you. Value yourself as an assignment means every day you wake up, you remind yourself that there is something you must build, something you must guard, something you must invest in, and that is you consider a student given a major final year project in the university. He knows his graduation depends on it. He doesn't joke with it. He studies, he researches, he spends sleepless nights because he knows that project will determine his honor on graduation day. In the same way, your life is your graduation project before destiny. You do not have the luxury of being careless, because the outcomes of your tomorrow are hidden in the investments of today. When you wake up late every day, waste time with gossip, feed your mind with toxic content, you are like a student ignoring his final project. The day of presentation will expose your negligence. Sometimes valuing yourself means stepping away from circles that do not appreciate your worth. If a gardener plants a seed in dry, rocky ground, no matter how powerful that seed is, it may not thrive. It is not because the seed is bad, but because the environment is wrong. In the same way, you are valuable, but if you continue to stay in environments that drain you, people that belittle you, and habits that destroy you, your assignment will never manifest. Value yourself enough to walk away from what is destroying your project. Look at your phone. Most of us will not let our battery run flat without rushing to charge it. Yet we let our souls run empty, our bodies run weak, and our minds run weary without care. Is your phone more valuable than your life? Is your device more precious than your destiny? You buy screen protectors and covers to shield your phone. But when last did you protect your peace from the screens of negativity people throw at you? This is what it means to value yourself as an assignment. You cover what matters. You recharge what gives life. You guard what carries purpose. Think of athletes preparing for the Olympics. They treat their bodies like sacred projects. They eat carefully, they rest strategically, they practice consistently because they know the crown is at stake. Every destiny has a crown. If you handle yourself casually, life will deny you the prize. You cannot carry a global assignment with a casual approach to yourself. It is wisdom to build, to train, to discipline, and to refine. Valuing yourself is not arrogance, it is responsibility. Arrogance is thinking you are better than others. Responsibility is knowing you are carrying too much destiny to live carelessly. If you fail to value yourself, people will use you, life will waste you, and time will mock you. But if you rise and say, I am a project worth building, I am an assignment worth protecting, then your choices begin to reflect that belief. Your friendships change, your conversations change, your habits change, and eventually your results change. One of the greatest tragedies is seeing someone treat themselves cheaply while demanding that life treats them with honor. Life does not give you what you demand. It gives you what you have prepared for. If you see yourself as ordinary, you will live ordinary. But if you see yourself as a divine assignment, you will rise with dignity. You will guard your steps with wisdom. You will invest in your growth with passion. Valuing yourself is not just a mindset. It is a lifestyle that communicates to life that you are serious about your destiny. Guard your mental health. Because everything you do in life flows from the state of your mind. A man can have resources, opportunities, and connections, but if his mind is broken, his life will eventually reflect that brokenness. You cannot rise higher than your thinking. You cannot sustain peace above the level of your mental strength. Imagine a computer that is overloaded with too many files, too many tabs, too many programs running at once. Sooner or later it begins to slow down, to freeze, to crash. That is how many people live their lives, carrying too much pressure, listening to too many voices, exposing themselves to too many comparisons, until they begin to crash silently on the inside while smiling on the outside. Every day you wake up, life throws information at you. Social media tells you who you should be, friends remind you of what you lack, society pressures you about where you should have reached, and circumstances shout at you about what you cannot do. If you do not learn to guard your mental health, you will live reacting to every voice, and soon your own voice will be lost. Guarding your mind means being selective with what you allow to settle in your thoughts. Not every opinion deserves your meditation. Not every story deserves your energy. Not every news deserves your peace. Wisdom is the ability to filter, think about it. When you drink water, you want it clean, free from dirt, free from poison. Yet when it comes to the mind, many allow every kind of pollution. If you knew that bitterness, comparison, fear, and negativity were poison, would you keep drinking them every day? Many people suffer not because of what is happening outside, but because of the conversations they allow inside. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you allow to stay will eventually grow. If you allow weeds of worry, weeds of insecurity, weeds of unforgiveness, soon they choke out your joy, your peace, and your confidence. Guarding your mental health means pulling out those weeds daily. There are people who protect their homes with locks, with cameras, with alarms, because they know their possessions are valuable. But the greatest treasure you carry is not your gold, not your phone, not your house. It is your peace of mind. When you lose peace, you lose creativity, you lose vision, you lose energy. That is why some people with very little money still live with joy, and others with great wealth live in constant torment. The state of your mind is more important than the size of your bank account. Money without peace is misery, but peace with even little resources is abundance. Look at how noise affects us. When you enter a crowded, noisy street, you cannot hear your own thoughts. You feel restless, distracted, and overwhelmed. The same thing happens when your mind is constantly filled with noise, too many voices, too many opinions, too much pressure. Silence is not just absence of sound. Silence is a decision to create room for clarity. Many people do not even know what they truly want in life because they have never been quiet enough to hear themselves. Guarding your mental health sometimes means switching off the noise, stepping back, taking a break, disconnecting from what drains you and reconnecting to what feeds you. Imagine carrying a heavy bag every day filled with stones. At first you might manage, but as days go by, your back bends, your strength weakens, and eventually you collapse. That is what happens when you keep carrying offenses, past mistakes, and future anxieties in your mind. They weigh you down until your soul begins to suffocate. Guarding your mental health means learning the art of release. Let go of what you cannot change. Forgive who you must forgive. Release what is beyond your control. You cannot carry everything and still expect to fly. People will always talk. Some will cheer you, some will mock you, some will misunderstand you. If you live trying to please everyone, you will eventually lose yourself. Guarding your mind means accepting that you are not for everyone, and that is fine. It is better to be at peace with yourself than to gain applause with no inner rest. When you understand this, you stop chasing validation and start chasing alignment with your own assignment. The world honors outward strength, but destiny rewards inward stability. Strong bodies collapse when the mind breaks. Outward success crumbles when inward peace is absent. So you must guard your mind the way a soldier guards a treasure. Do not allow comparison to steal your joy. Do not allow fear to silence your dreams. Do not allow the bitterness of others to stain your heart. When you guard your mental health, you secure your future, because a healthy mind will always produce a healthy life. The rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. Yet many people in our world have been deceived into thinking that if you stop even for a moment, you are lazy, unserious, or wasting time. But the truth is, nothing can keep giving endlessly without a break. Not even the strongest of machines. Think of your phone. No matter how expensive or powerful, if you refuse to charge it, one day it will shut down. And when it shuts down, it will not matter how many features it has. It will simply be unusable. In the same way, when you refuse to rest, when you keep pushing without pause, eventually your body, your mind, and even your spirit will shut down. So many people wear tiredness like a badge of honor. They say things like, I haven't slept for days, I've been working non-stop, as though exhaustion is proof of success. But wisdom teaches that true greatness is not in how much you burn yourself out, but in how long you can last on the journey of destiny. It is not speed that sustains you, it is stamina, and stamina comes from balance. Even the most gifted runners in the world know the power of pacing themselves. They do not sprint recklessly from the beginning. They know when to slow down, when to breathe, when to gather strength, because the prize is not for those who start fast. It is for those who finish strong. Think about the farmer. He plants, he waters, he works hard, but he also waits. He does not stand in the field digging every single day to force the seed to grow faster. He understands that growth requires cycles of work and cycles of waiting. Rest is that waiting. It is the season that allows the seed of your labor to gain strength beneath the surface. If you keep disturbing the soil, if you keep pulling at the seed, you will destroy it. In the same way, when you keep disturbing your own life with endless striving, with no pause, with no silence, you destroy the very results you are working for. There is a reason even nature obeys this law. The sun rises and then it sets. Day turns into night. Activity gives way to stillness. The ocean waves rush forward and then retreat. The heart beats and then pauses before the next beat. Life was never designed to be one long sprint. It was designed with rhythms of work and rest. Those who ignore these rhythms soon pay with their health, their relationships, and their joy. What use is it to gain recognition at the cost of your well-being? What use is it to conquer the world but lose yourself in the process? Many people think resting is doing nothing, but true rest is intentional. It is creating moments to renew your mind, to strengthen your body, to refresh your soul. It can be as simple as sitting quietly in nature, breathing deeply, and allowing your thoughts to settle. It can be taking time away from the constant noise of social media, disconnecting from the pressure of people's expectations. It can be saying no to another meeting, another demand, because you recognize that your assignment is too important to let yourself collapse. Rest is not the absence of responsibility. It is the wisdom to sustain responsibility. Look at athletes before a big match. They do not spend the entire night practicing. They sleep early, they eat well, they stretch their bodies, because they know that exhaustion will weaken them more than lack of skill. In the same way, in the battles of life, you must understand that your strength is not only in how much you do, but also in how well you recover. Nobody claps when you are resting, but everyone benefits when you rise refreshed to perform at your best. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When you ignore it, life will force it on you in the form of sickness, burnout, or breakdown. How many people are lying in hospitals today? Not because life hated them, but because they refused to pause when wisdom was whispering, slow down. If you do not take rest voluntarily, one day your body will demand it without your permission. And when that happens, all the things you thought could not move without you will keep moving anyway. Life has a way of proving to us that we are not machines. The most productive people are not those who never rest, but those who understand how to align their energy with their assignment. When you rest, your creativity increases, your clarity returns, your decisions improve. How many mistakes have been made because someone was simply too tired to think straight? How many relationships have been damaged because someone was too drained to respond with love and patience? Rest is not idleness. Rest is strategy. It is the art of protecting your destiny from premature collapse. When you learn to rest, you are declaring that your future matters enough to preserve your present energy. Choose the right company, because no matter how strong you think you are, the people you walk with will eventually influence the direction of your life. Every environment carries an atmosphere. Every friend carries an influence. Every relationship is either building you or breaking you. There is no neutral ground. Think about coal and perfume. If you put your hand in coal, even for a few minutes, your hand becomes black. But if you walk into a room filled with perfume, even without touching the bottle, you come out smelling sweet. The company you keep is the fragrance you will eventually carry. Have you noticed how children begin to copy the language, the attitude, and even the habits of those they spend the most time with? You do not need to teach a child to imitate. They naturally absorb what surrounds them. In the same way, no matter how disciplined you think you are, your life will reflect the patterns of those closest to you. If you surround yourself with complainers, you will soon find yourself complaining. If you surround yourself with dreamers, you will soon start dreaming. If you stay with those who gossip, it will not be long before gossip becomes your conversation too. You cannot plant yourself in unhealthy soil and expect healthy fruit. Think about an eagle trying to soar, but all its closest friends are chickens scratching the ground. No matter how strong its wings are, if it keeps lowering itself to the habits of chickens, it will never rise into the skies. In the same way, when you walk with people who are small-minded, those who kill vision, those who mock discipline, you are reducing yourself to the level of their mediocrity. You cannot live above the environment you consistently expose yourself to. Success is not just about what you do, it is also about who you do it with. Look at the workplace. When you join a team where everyone is passionate, diligent, and focused, you find yourself stretching to match their energy. But when you join a circle where laziness and shortcuts are celebrated, you are tempted to reduce your standards. That is the silent power of association. It does not shout, it whispers, but those whispers shape destinies. Many great lives have been destroyed not by direct attacks, but by wrong company. The pressure to belong, the desire to be accepted, has led many into compromises they never planned for. Choose people who inspire you, who challenge you, who stretch your vision. It is better to walk alone with clarity than to surround yourself with 10 people who are leading you nowhere. Loneliness for a season is far better than companionship with the wrong voices. You imagine a traveler heading north but surrounding himself with people determined to walk south. No matter his passion, if he keeps their company, he will eventually end up in the wrong direction. It is impossible to go far when you are tied to those who are going nowhere. Daily life proves this again and again. If you spend your evenings around people who talk only about money, you will begin to desire wealth. If you spend your evenings around people who talk only about problems, you will begin to see life as hopeless. If you spend your evenings around people who celebrate growth, who read, who invest in knowledge, you will soon find yourself hungry to grow too. Your conversations today are a prophecy of your tomorrow. Think about the habits you are trying to build, maybe discipline, prayer, health, or consistency. If you surround yourself with people who mock those habits, sooner or later your fire will die. But if you surround yourself with people who practice those things, their fire will ignite yours when you feel weak. Association is few. It can either keep your fire burning or it can quench it. Wrong company has a way of delaying destinies. Many people should have gone further by now, but they stayed too long with friends who had no vision, no discipline, no hunger. It is like a man trying to run a marathon while dragging a heavy bag. The weight is not his destiny, it is the relationships he refuses to release. You cannot carry both destiny and dead weight at the same time. Choose wisely, because time does not wait for anyone. Every destiny needs a circle that strengthens it. Even the strongest leaders need people around them who remind them of who they are, who push them when they feel tired, who correct them when they make mistakes, who celebrate them when they succeed. Without the right company, greatness becomes vulnerable. With the right company, even weakness becomes strength. This is why choosing who walks with you is not a casual decision. It is a destiny decision. Feed your spirit consistently, because everything visible in your life is only a reflection of what is happening in the invisible part of you. When your spirit is strong, you face storms and still stand. When your spirit is weak, even the smallest wind can push you down. Many people invest in their bodies, they buy expensive clothes, they exercise, they eat carefully, and that is good. Others invest in their minds, they read, they study, they sharpen their skills, and that is excellent. But very few remember to feed their spirit daily, yet the spirit is the true engine of destiny. Neglecting it is like polishing the car body and filling the tires with air while ignoring the engine. It may look beautiful from the outside, but when it is time to move, it will fail. Think about your phone again. You can change the wallpaper, you can clean the screen, you can buy a new cover, but if you do not charge it, it will still die. No matter how attractive the outside is, if there is no power inside, it is useless. Your spirit is your inner battery. Every day life drains you, people demand from you, challenges pull from you, disappointments empty you. If you are not consistently feeding your spirit, you will soon be running on empty. That is why some people look strong outwardly. They smile, they dress well, they talk boldly, but inside they are collapsing. When the weight of life hits them, they crumble because their inner man has been starving for too long. Feeding your spirit consistently means creating daily habits that strengthen your inner being. It means choosing what you allow to enter your heart, because whatever you expose yourself to regularly becomes food for your soul. Negative voices are food. Toxic conversations are food. Destructive content is food, but they are poison disguised as meals. Many are unknowingly feeding their spirit with garbage and then wondering why they have no strength in times of adversity. If you want to rise above life's storms, you must choose carefully the diet of your spirit. Look at the athlete preparing for competition. He knows that talent alone is not enough. He follows a strict diet, not because he hates food, but because he values his performance. In the same way, feeding your spirit consistently means disciplining yourself to consume only what builds you, what inspires you, what strengthens your convictions. Not everything is worth your meditation. Not every voice deserves your focus. You must deliberately choose what fuels your destiny. Have you noticed how a car requires constant refueling? It doesn't matter if you filled it last week. If you keep driving, the tank will get empty. Life is exactly like that. One breakthrough, one success, one moment of strength is not enough to sustain you forever. Every new day requires fresh supply. Many people make the mistake of thinking because they once felt strong, they will always remain strong. But strength leaks, courage leaks, hope leaks. The only way to remain full is to feed your spirit daily. Feeding your spirit can be as simple as surrounding yourself with uplifting words, reading material that builds you, listening to wisdom that expands you, keeping company with people who challenge your growth. It can be as simple as creating quiet moments where you reflect, where you realign with your purpose, where you pour gratitude into your soul instead of fear. The key is consistency. It is not about one big event, it is about small daily deposits that accumulate into a reservoir of strength. Look at farmers again. They do not water their crops once and walk away. They water daily, they protect the plants daily, because they know that consistency brings harvest. Feeding your spirit is the same. The little investments you make every day may not show immediate results, but over time they transform you into someone unshakable. Many lives have been ruined because people try to face battles with an empty spirit. Adversity will always come, storms will always rise, disappointments will always knock at your door. But the question is, are you strong enough inside to remain standing? When your spirit is full, fear knocks but finds no entry. Discouragement comes but has no seat. Failure appears but cannot define you. But when your spirit is starving, the smallest trial looks like a mountain and the smallest delay feels like the end of the world. This is why you must feed your spirit consistently, not once in a while, not only when things are bad, but daily, because tomorrow's battles will not wait for you to prepare. You must build reserves of strength today for storms you have not yet seen. When your spirit is well fed, you do not just survive challenges, you rise above them. You inspire others, you carry light in dark places, and you become proof that inner strength is greater than outer opposition. Learn to say no without guilt. Because one of the fastest ways to lose yourself in life is to keep saying yes to everything and everyone, while your own soul is silently screaming for rest, for boundaries, for space. So many people have become prisoners of other people's expectations simply because they do not have the courage to say that small but powerful word no. And yet, learning to say no is one of the most liberating skills you can ever master. It is not rebellion, it is not arrogance, it is wisdom. Because every time you say yes to something you should have refused, you are unconsciously saying no to something more important in your life. Think of your daily schedule like a room. Every time you let something in, it occupies space. If you keep saying yes to everyone and everything, soon your room becomes overcrowded with things that do not serve you, and suddenly there is no space left for what really matters. Have you ever tried to work in a cluttered room? No matter how hard you focus, the chaos around you keeps distracting you. In the same way, when your life is cluttered with commitments you never wanted, people you never needed, and pressures you never asked for, your purpose gets buried under noise. Saying no is how you declutter your destiny. Many people are afraid to say no because they do not want to disappoint others. But here is the truth: no matter what you do, someone will always be disappointed. You can sacrifice your sleep, your health, your dreams, and still there will be people who think you are not doing enough. So why destroy yourself to satisfy voices that will never be satisfied? Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for others is to say no, because your no today will preserve your strength to serve them better tomorrow. If you burn out trying to please everyone, you will not be available for anyone. Think about how airlines give instructions before takeoff. They say if the oxygen mask drops, put yours on first before helping others. At first, it sounds selfish, but in reality, it is wisdom. Because if you collapse trying to help everyone else, you will end up saving no one. Life works the same way. When you say no to certain demands, you are not rejecting people. You are protecting your capacity to serve them well in the long run. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot lift others when you are sinking yourself. A healthy no is an investment in a stronger yes. Look at children. They ask for everything they see. They want every toy, every candy, every shiny object. But a wise parent does not say yes to everything. Sometimes love says no, because saying yes to everything will destroy the child in the future. In the same way, you must learn to love yourself enough to say no. No to unnecessary drama. No to toxic friendships. No to habits that waste your time. No to requests that stretch you beyond your assignment. Your no does not mean you are unkind. It means you understand your limits and you value your purpose. Daily life gives us countless examples. Have you ever seen someone who cannot say no to extra work at the office? Soon they are overwhelmed, stressed, and resentful, yet the system moves on without them. Have you seen someone who cannot say no to friends always demanding money or time? Soon they are drained, bitter, and empty, yet those same friends are nowhere to be found when they are in need. Saying yes without boundaries makes you a slave to the demands of others, but saying no with wisdom makes you a master of your own time, your own energy, and your own destiny. Learning to say no also means redefining what success looks like. Success is not measured by how many people you please. It is measured by how aligned you are with your purpose. You are not called to everything. You are not assigned to everyone. You are not supposed to carry every burden. Sometimes the path to destiny is not in saying more yes, but in saying more no. Because when you say no to distractions, you are saying yes to focus. When you say no to noise, you are saying yes to clarity. When you say no to draining people, you are saying yes to peace. You must understand that no is not rejection, it is redirection. Every no you give is pointing you back to what truly matters. Every no is reminding you of the value of your time and the weight of your assignment. The world will always try to pull you in 100 directions, but only you can decide where your feet truly belong. And that decision begins with the courage to look at demands that do not align with your purpose and say, no, not this time, not this way, not at the expense of my peace. Invest in your growth, because nothing in life improves by accident. Progress is never a coincidence. It is always the result of intentional investment. Many people are waiting for opportunities, waiting for open doors, waiting for success, but the truth is opportunities do not change you, they only reveal you. It is not the door that makes the man, it is the man that defines what happens when the door opens. If you enter unprepared, the same opportunity that was meant to lift you can end up exposing your emptiness. Growth is not a suggestion, it is a requirement for destiny. Think about a farmer who plants a seed. He knows that no matter how rich the soil is, no matter how favorable the season is, if he does not water the seed, if he does not protect it, if he does not feed it, that seed will not grow into a harvest. In the same way, you are a seed carrying the potential of greatness. But greatness will not just appear because you wish for it. It will appear because you have watered it with knowledge, protected it with discipline, and fed it with consistency. Growth is the price you pay for the future you desire. Look at technology. Every year, phones are upgraded, cars are upgraded, systems are upgraded, because the world understands that growth keeps you relevant. Yet many people are living on outdated versions of themselves. They are trying to face today's battles with yesterday's wisdom. They are trying to solve new problems with old mindsets. No wonder life feels like it is leaving them behind. You cannot expect a new season to respect you when you are still carrying the mentality of the old season. If you refuse to grow, you will be replaced by someone who did. Investing in your growth means valuing knowledge. You must read, you must learn, you must expose yourself to ideas that stretch your thinking. If you are the smartest in your circle, you are in the wrong circle. Daily life proves this over and over again. In workplaces, those who keep upgrading their skills, those who keep learning new tools, those who stay ahead of the curve are the ones who rise to leadership. While those who remain the same, who refuse to grow, soon find themselves outdated, irrelevant, and overlooked. But growth is not just intellectual, it is emotional. Many destinies have been destroyed not because people lacked skill, but because they lacked character. A man who cannot control his anger, a woman who cannot handle criticism, a leader who cannot manage pressure, no matter how talented, will eventually collapse. Investing in your growth means working on your patience, your humility, your discipline, your ability to handle people. Because doors will not just require your skill, they will require your maturity. Think of a tree. When you see its branches spreading wide, when you admire its fruits, remember that it was the hidden roots that made it possible. The roots were growing silently underground, unseen by anyone. But those roots determined how far the tree would go. In the same way, your private growth, your hidden development, your unseen preparation is what will determine how far your life will spread. Do not despise seasons where nobody claps for you, seasons where nobody notices your effort. Those are the seasons where roots are forming. And when the wind comes, it is the roots that will keep you standing. Growth also requires sacrifice. You cannot invest in your growth without giving up something. It may cost you sleep, it may cost you comfort, it may cost you popularity, it may even cost you certain friendships. But every sacrifice you make for growth is an investment into a future that will make sense later. Today you may be mocked for choosing to study while others play, for choosing to discipline yourself while others live carelessly, but tomorrow the results will speak. Life has a way of rewarding those who pay the price to grow. When nobody was watching, consider this. If you buy a piece of land and never develop it, weeds will grow there. Neglect always produces decay. The same way, if you neglect your mind, ignorance will grow. If you neglect your body, weakness will grow. If you neglect your spirit, fear will grow. Growth is not automatic, but decay is. The only way to stop decline is to keep investing in yourself daily. Every great person you admire today was not born great, they grew into greatness. They paid attention to their habits, to their associations, to their learning, to their inner life. They did not wait for life to hand them success. They grew until they became success themselves. So ask yourself, in what ways am I growing daily? Am I feeding my mind with knowledge? Am I stretching my discipline? Am I sharpening my skills? Am I deepening my wisdom? Because if you are not growing, you are shrinking. And if you are shrinking, you are silently disqualifying yourself from the future you desire. Life will always respond to the level of investment you put into yourself. And no one can rise higher than the quality of their personal growth. The world does not reward wishes, it rewards value. Value is what people pay attention to. Value is what opportunities recognize. Value is what makes doors stay open even after you walk through them. And value is the direct product of how much you have chosen to grow. Never forget, people are drawn to the fragrance of growth. When you grow, you attract. When you grow, you inspire. When you grow, you become a voice that cannot be silenced. So I challenge you tonight. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting for someone to push you. The greatest tragedy is not when life refuses to give you opportunities. The greatest tragedy is when you refuse to prepare yourself for the opportunities that are already waiting for you. Imagine if tomorrow you are called into the room of kings, into the table of influence, into the space of destiny. Will you be ready or will you be exposed? Do not allow life to take you by surprise. Prepare until your preparation begins to intimidate the very things that once threatened you. There will always be a reason to delay growth. There will always be an excuse to postpone self-investment. But the clock is ticking. And life is not waiting for you. You must decide that your destiny is worth the sacrifice, your future is worth the discipline, your tomorrow is worth the price you pay today. The discomfort of growth is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Do not let tomorrow find you wishing that you had done what you had the chance to do today. Every day you wake up, you are given a blank page. What you write on that page is determined by your choices. You can write excuses, or you can write progress. You can write distractions, or you can write discipline. You can write wasted hours, or you can write investment into your future. Those pages will eventually become the story of your life. Make sure when the book is opened, it tells a story worth listening to, a story that proves you valued your destiny enough to grow for it. Listen, champions are not made in the ring, they are only revealed there. The training ground is where champions are built, in the quiet hours of sacrifice, in the unseen moments of preparation, in the daily commitment to growth. That is where greatness is forged. When you see a man celebrated on stage, do not be deceived by the applause. What you are celebrating is the result of a secret life of investment. The stage only exposes what growth has already produced in the background. If you desire the stage, then value the secret place of growth. Never forget, success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by becoming the kind of person that success is looking for. Do not run after greatness. Become great, and greatness will run after you. Doors are not begged for. They are deserved through growth. Positions are not demanded. They are earned through value. The most powerful prayer you can pray for your destiny is to take responsibility to grow daily. Because when preparation meets opportunity, what the world calls luck is simply the evidence of growth meeting its appointed time. So rise up and make a decision. Decide that you will not live the same year 80 times and call it a life. Decide that every day, even if it is a little, you will grow in wisdom, in discipline, in skill, in capacity. Decide that you will no longer waste your pain, but you will turn it into fuel for your future. Decide that you will not allow the fear of failure to keep you stagnant, because failure is not the opposite of growth, it is part of it. Greatness is not given to those who wish for it, it is given to those who dare to grow for it. Remember, life is not a rehearsal, this is the real stage. Every second is an opportunity, every moment is a seed. Plant wisely, water consistently, and watch as the harvest of your growth becomes undeniable. As one wise voice once said, do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Refuse to settle for mediocrity, because mediocrity is crowded, but excellence is lonely, and only those who grow can sit there. Dare to believe that the future will reward your sacrifice. Dare to believe that growth will carry you where excuses never could. Dare to believe that your tomorrow will thank you for the decisions you make today. And when life tries to whisper to you that you cannot, let your growth shout back that you can. When fear tries to convince you that you are not enough, let your discipline prove that you are more than enough. When failure tries to stop you, let your resilience declare that it was only a stepping stone. Keep growing until your presence becomes an answer. Keep growing until your voice becomes a solution. Keep growing until your life becomes proof that nothing is impossible to the one who refuses to remain the same. Listen to me. It is not pride to take care of yourself. It is wisdom. The strongest version of you is the one that the world truly needs. Do not trade your peace for applause. Do not trade your health for temporary validation. Life is not about speed. It is about stamina. And stamina comes from balance. If you collapse, the assignment collapses. If you give up, the destinies connected to you suffer. So today, make a decision. I will take care of myself. I will guard my heart. I will protect my peace. I will nurture my destiny. Remember this, the world celebrates results, but results are only possible when you are alive, healthy, and whole. Choose wisely. Take care of yourself.